Alright. Come on, Restream. Let's get... Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, say it in the chat on X. Because I'm testing it on my end. I ain't got no volume. Let's see. William said yes, so that's good. Thank you. Oh. There we go. Alright. There was no volume earlier, but there is now. Awesome. Alright, thank you. William Lee, you are my designated volume coordinator this evening. If my volume cuts out again at any point in time and you see my mouth moving and nothing coming out, please blow up the chat and let me know. That way I can get it fixed. I appreciate you, William. Alright, let's get the SNL posted to the Discord. Appreciate you, William. Alright, I'm gonna get the link sent out in Discord. Hope everybody had a great weekend. For the ones already here, I know that I start about 5 minutes early. If you could please, here on X, if you could like and retweet the live stream, I would appreciate it. As always, these live streams are recorded here on X and on the YouTube channel, so ones that cannot attend it live, they would like to watch the recording later. So please like and retweet it, share it, that way they can find it later on. What's up, Keith? What's up, what's up? What does Robinhood say for CVS after hours? Does it have anything? It pulled back half the move. It was up 3% and it pulled back. It's only up 1.5. So let's see. Oh, it has it back up 2.69. Let's go. Just under 50 bucks. That is first target upside is 50 for those calls for January. And then 52 is target after that for those 55s, the swing for February 21st for those to get green. Target closed those calls up 32%. Let's see where TGT is at after hours. It's up 27 cents, so nothing there. What's IWM doing after hours? IWM is down to 215.70, so down a wee bit. Which is fine. It's one of my top watches. Let's get paid on CVS. Hopefully it gets a nice move and opens up above 50 bucks and then gets continuation upside. We're actually going to cover that here in just a second. Yes, let's go. It's up overnight. It's not crazy. We're going to cover on why I was long Friday for CVS. A stressful week for me because of the fires. Oh, sorry to hear that, Liv. Safe for now. That's good. All right, Liv is over there managing the YouTube channel for me. So, if you're on the YouTube side, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, started a few minutes early. Sat here long enough. Got over 300 people already in here. We're going to start going. All right, so too late to get into CVS. We're going to cover that here in a second. I'll give my thoughts on it. So one of the positions that I have on CVS closed right at entry on Friday. So depending on, if it opens back up where it was previously, then the swings that I have for February 21st, I think would still be valid at that point. So if it opens up over $50, and the January calls that I called out on Friday go in the money, I mean, potentially. I don't really see too much above 52, but again, we'll cover that here in a second. So 1.17K subs. Let's go. Let's go. Please, everybody, go over to the YouTube channel as well, on another tab, even if you're here on X, and just go type in Casey Trade 777 and go like and subscribe to that as well. I'm going to be putting a lot more educational content out there on the specifically on the YouTube channel. Try and bump that up and keep up with some educational videos on options trading. So first one SPY, second one QQQ, third one IWM. Same as always, right? So SPY, everybody's kind of already talking about it. Obviously, the head and shoulders with on the daily time frame here, right? So another thing that everyone's watching is the gap to fill downside. Where's my blog? There we go. So you had this gap right here, right, initially. Go down a little bit more. There we go. So it's almost filled that gap by now, right? I think it's off by just like a few cents. So the gap on TradingView has it at 576.74. So somewhere right there. The low right there was 578.55. So there's still, about $1 and some change downside still to go fill that gap. So I believe that's what everyone's kind of watching right now at that point. I mean, it sucks to think about it, but in reality, SPY could see 565. SPY hits 565. That's like a long right there for me. I mean, you'll see that's a big spot. So if SPY fills that gap and then just has continuation downside, I mean, 575 down to 570, 568, and then 565 would be full target. So just watch that gap. Once that gap is closed, doesn't have to act as support, but it can. And then you got that little support right there. So I'm actually going to zoom in on that right there, right? You'll see this is on the daily, so I'm going to break it down with a smaller time frame, and it's going to show a little bit better right here, right? Big reaction straight to the downside. Big candles have to break through it straight to the upside. That means this is level of importance. Look what happens when it gets retested. Right there, right? Look what happens when it hits it again, big candle. Look what happens when it hits it again, big candle. So this is an important area right here on SPY. So SPY does fill that gap and go down just a little bit more near 574.3. I mean, that's big support right there. So I would try a long underneath that. Then I would say that can start that, $9, $10 downside move to 565. So drop it down to the hourly real quick. See where those little circles line up at over here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so SR flip, right? Nothing more, nothing less is perfect, right? So you got resistance right here, 1, 2, 3. Look at the big move that it gets downside, right? And then it breaks through it and does an SR flip right here. And then look what happens. Big move to the upside. Comes back down, gets tested, big bounce back to the upside. Look at the reactions that happen, the candles that come in when this area is tested. So that means that that area is very important to SPY. So we are just above it. So mark 574.3 to the upside is going to be fairly easy. It's going to be about right here. About 585.3. So same thing. Look at the size of the candles and the reactions that happen when this area is tested, right? Big candle comes in, big candle back up, breaks above it. Look at that perfect little green hammer candle after the break and retest right there, right? SR flip. Look at the move that happens. Big upside move. Gets tested again right here. Bounces, and then look at the size of the candle that comes in right there. and then retest rejection. So that's a big area on SPY. So 2 levels for SPY, mark them 585.3 and 574.3. You got, your midpoint area in here around 580 to 582. I wouldn't really trade within that zone, but if it does break above 582, then push higher to 584, and then that 585.3. And then just underneath previous day low, it's going to fill that gap down to 576.74, and then big support down here at 574.3. So those 2 yellow lines, mark those on SPY. Then again, daily head and shoulders, so bearish pattern set up right now on the daily. Let's look at Qs. So Qs doesn't really look like the same as SPY with the head and shoulders. So one thing to note is this spot right here. Track that across. So to be exact, that double top is 503.50 area. So 503.50 down to 500. That is a big support spot for QQQ. Previous low was 503.92, so it almost got there. And then this area right here, I'd mark that spot. That's 516.25. So, and you got your midpoint area right in the middle, which is 510. So I would watch 503.50 down to 500, just that this zone area. If that can get tested, you can get a really nice long entry there. Risk to reward be tight with the 500 psych level. Where the shit is it? There we go. So if it comes down here, get the bounce right here and then take it higher. So, but if it does break, retest, reject, then it's going to go down. First one's around, there's that gap right here. very small gap right there on QQQ. That's the rest of the gap that needs to be filled. So it has a small one just like SPY does. So go down near that 493 area. You would need QQQ to get a break-in base above 516 to see any kind of more continuation upside. So I want to see a break-in base and then push that up here to the 525. So you can see, just mark that spot, whoopsies, right here. So it needs to get a break-in base above that and go higher, and then break-in base below that to go fill that small gap. So watch 516.25 and then the 503 to 500 kind of zone down here, but 500 psych level more important. Screenshot this. Walmart, yeah, we'll take a look at Walmart because Target is in the gap. IWM, zoom out, look left. Go ahead and kind of get rid of some of this stuff that's already on here. So actually, you know what? I'm just going to reset this chart because I have to do this on a larger time frame right now anyways. All right, so IWM. This area right here is always very strange on IWM. So one thing I want to note is about near this 215 area. It's about just right here. Okay. And then I want to hit these lows. Oopsies. I want to hit these lows here. I'm going to hit that low here. And then get the trend line, right? Take it to here, run it straight through. Look where that lines up at. So I'm in calls right now on IWM based off of this this 215 spot just, I mean, just so many wicks down here where this was an area of demand that got up every single time. And then if you're in my mastermind, you know what I'm about to say. Not a coincidence. You see a big candle right here. Like on the previous chart, the SR flip areas, you have to get big candles to just go through this level, because that's when the bears took over. Every time it got tested, bull stepped in, bought it back up, bought it back up. It took a huge red candle that there's no bottom wick on it. They just straight knife it through it, and then what happens? They bounce it back up, and then right here, that's when they slam it back down. That's the confirmed SR flip, right? So the fact that we're in that zone again, and on the weekly, this is the third touch of a trend line here. I am in call swings on IWM here based off of that. You would have to see, I mean, there's a big spot up here near 227. That has always been a pain in the ass just because 230 is like right above it and you want 230 cycle level. But 227 has got, I remember trying to get here, up here, whatever else, like this freaking 227 level. Can knock it out of the way. So drop it down to a 4 hour. There you go. Look at that. Okay, that's the most freaking perfect chart ever, I swear. This is why I love support, resistance, supply, demand, because it's so easy. I want to move that over here. Okay, look where 227 is, okay? And look over here, far left of the screen. Look at that. Not a coincidence that you get big reactions off that, right? Drag it over even more. Look what happens. Straight back down to the zone. Do it again. Third time. Comes up here. They have to gap it above it. Big move to break through it. The bulls finally take over. It comes back down. What happens? Lower bottom wicks right here. Buyer step in, hold it. That's the confirmed SR flip. Big move happens off that, right? Boom. Again, not a coincidence. Big red candle, right? I say that like 100 times in the mastermind course because this is just the easiest freaking and best thing in the world to start with. It's just simple things like this. So drag it over. Keep on dragging it over. Look, just retested it after the big break to the downside. And we're coming back down to this previous low sitting right here on the trend line. If this gives, IWM is going to get a nasty move to the downside. I almost marked those to the penny of 210 and 205. And that's where it would go. So, I mean, where's 230? 230 cycle level is like right up here. So that's what I am watching on IWM. So watch 215 and 227, essentially. All right, those are 3 SPY, QQ, IWM. Yeah, Keith. He said, oh, shit, look at that. Yeah. All right. TGT real quick. Daily. After the inverse head and shoulders, you'll see that I just had a draw on there. All right, boom. Inverse head and shoulders, nice. Neckline. Finally, this is how SR flips work. Watch, I'm going to mark it in white. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Cool. Rejections. All right here. Big green candle that ripped above it. They retested it, went down very low, reclaimed it at the same time though on the same day, and then came all the way back above the neckline. Big green move to the upside. Fantastic. So now you need to watch this spot here. I'm probably going to mark 145 to the dot. 145 to the dot. Because look right here. This is an area of importance. So that is target. On target. I've traded, Keith knows, Keith's in the Discord, we've traded target calls like 7 times. Haven't lost yet. Every single time there's a dip on freaking target that sets up some kind of bullish structure on the 4-hour or the daily, I get intraday calls at the low, or I catch a really good swing on it overnight. Like, we've hit it 7 for 7 ever since the huge move to the downside. Just between November, like late November, 21st, 22nd area. I mean, up until now, we just keep hitting it every single time. So, looking for eventually fill the gap, but 145, 150, 154. Those are the targets on target. So, we've traded 130 calls, 135 calls, 140s multiple times, and now in the 150s. For February 21st as a swing. I know there's still a few people that are in the 140s or 145s for the end of January. So looking for a continuation there, and eventually fill this full gap on target. I'm going to keep on playing it every opportunity. Walmart is looking good. Had a little bit of a scare there. Just right down here, bounce back up and pull back, but it did put in a higher low. So that is good. So just mark that right there, and then mark like right here, and then you'll see this spot right here is big on Walmart. So drag that over. That's exactly where it's at right there. So and you'll see buyers are stepping in previous times right here near this $90 area. So watch 90 as support, and then if it can get a move above almost $94, it's just shy of that. It's like right there, like 93.78, 94. If it breaks above that, then it's going to go back up and test these recent highs up here near the 95 area, 95, 96. All right, CVS. Talked about this while I'm in calls. So this is called a Morningstar reversal, which is a bullish sign, which you want to see at the bottom of a downtrend. So CVS just had this nasty move to the downside. Here we go. Had this nasty move to the downside, and then kind of just went sideways. Looks like it did a bear flag, did a fake breakout, rejected, and then eventually broke this down. So I am in calls looking for a move up to this previous week high, which should be like 50 or 49. 49. There to the weekly 9 EMA, which is at $50.05. So I'm looking for a move up there. Full target on this is going to be this, you'll see this previous low right here, big reaction off of it, another big green reaction off it, and then not a coincidence, what happens? Bears take over, huge red candle to break through it, right? So that's the break. It's going to do the retest. So on the move down here for the retest with this Morningstar reversal, I am in calls, and then I'm going to flip short eventually. So I'm in calls up to here. I'm going to take a nice trim. Would like to see the push back up here, so like 52.50, and then I'm going to short CVS back down if that happens. So calls first, on the retest, pop it back up, and then looking to flip short. Last but not least is DraftKings. So this is a Morningstar reversal. Same thing that we just saw on CVS. So the only thing that is a wee bit concerning is just the higher highs and the higher lows and just drawing trend lines. So because you had this trend line here, which broke, and I was in calls on a trade initially here on that trend line. This was weeks and weeks ago. You can go back, look at the charts and the alerts. We took calls here, went sideways for a while, came back down, bought some more, bounced back up, and eventually it just closed underneath of it and ended up taking a small loss on it. So now there's a Morningstar reversal here, and it's popping back up to the daily EMAs, which is going to line up around 40 bucks. Right there. So if it can reclaim the EMAs and that trend line right here off this bullish Morningstar reversal that broke below it, if it does reclaim and hold back above 40, I'm going to look to get calls to go to 42.50, and then after that, 44 bucks, and top of this trend line area is around like 46. So looking to potentially get calls there on DraftKings. I don't think. See if any of those names had any squeezes on any higher time frames. Don't think so. No, not seeing any squeezes on any of those time frames. So that's it. SPY, QQQ, IWM, CVS, Target, and DraftKings. Those are my top watches. We have a lot of earnings this week with banks. So you got like almost every single one. You got like JPM, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Citigroup. You got just all the banks reporting this week. So could see some really big movers. I plan on taking a few lotto trades on these bank earnings, and then see how it affects the market, see how it affects IWM specifically. So that's it for me. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. He said, yeah, Keith, Dufex, every trade on target has been on point. So, all right. That's it for me. Someone said Apple. I'm just going to cover Apple real quick. So Apple had a... So, look. What's up, man? So Apple had a evening star at the top here on the daily. Started a big move downside. Go to the weekly, and you have another evening star right here. And then if you mark the zone to the left, big candle reactions off of it. Look where it just retested, hit the weekly 21, which you'll see every time the weekly 21 gets tested, it holds. So now it just did it again. So shorting Apple down to 233 area was perfect. It hit it to the penny. The low on that weekly candle on Friday was 233.00. It was absolutely perfect. It bounced, held, and now back up. So I'm looking to see if it can reclaim above 237, 238. If it does, go back up and hit those 240s. So am watching that potentially on Apple. So, all right. About 1,100 people in here. Appreciate you guys. It is 27 degrees right now. It's cold as balls out here. So I know there's so many names you guys want me to do, but I'm freezing out here. So again, SPY, QQ, IWM, Target, CVS, DraftKings. Looked at Walmart as well with Target, and then Apple as well. Watching that. So, and then obviously all the banks are going to be top watch this week. So got some data coming out this week as well. And then a few Fed speakers as well at random times. So I posted all of that, the entire, my main watch on everything. And then the top things on the economic calendar. They are in my newsletter. So you can go to my newsletter. I think I put the newsletter link in my bio on the link tree whenever I created it. It is. It's on there. So you can go to the newsletter, and I lay out everything, my schedule, everything that I'm watching, my top watches, and then the top economic data that's coming in that week. So you can get you can put your email and subscribe to the newsletter, and it just automatically sends you the newsletter to your email, which I send it over the weekend prior to obviously the start of the week. So I don't know what the hell just happened with my viewers, but it just jumped by 300 people in a matter of 2 minutes while I was talking about that. Now we're at like 1,400 people. So I appreciate you guys. Sorry for the 300 people that just jumped in because we're closing shop. It's been a half hour sitting out here in the cold doing it already. So I screenshot a few of these charts. I posted some earlier. I'll post the rest here soon. And again, this session is always recorded here on X and on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please just like and retweet it here on X. That way people can find the recording later. So, yep, absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome, Brian and Adam. William, you're welcome, brother. Appreciate you. Make money this week. Absolutely. Absolutely every week. So I will be here on live in the premium Discord in the morning for the live trading session, ready to go for the premium team. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Y'all take care. Have a good night.